Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS, and the final battle for Diarne's Keep draws near. However, before we engage TorGal and his minions, there are still a couple of things that we need to do. And first we're going to finish exploring, and we're going to get some pretty good ammo from these chests. And there's also a prison section nearby that we're going to check out in a second. I'm just going to leave these darts +1 over there. And the prison cells are pretty empty. There are some corpses lying around here and there, but the main area of interest is this one. And here we see the tunnel that the Umber Hulks dug to gain entrance to the keep and allow the invaders to attack from below. But now this serves as their feeding area, and here we would be able to drop the dogs to, if we went that route, to lure the Umber Hulks from the main room that we're supposed to go through. And going for all that actually yields quite a bit of experience, because making the dog stew gives you experience, and then dropping it in the prison cell awards you with a large chunk of experience. And even when going that route, you can still kill the Umber Hulks here first, and then drop the dog stew in the prison cell, and ultimately end up gaining a lot more experience than what we have done in our playthrough, for the price of being eternally damned for what you have done to these dogs, of course. But anyway, now it is time to finally assemble the Flail of Ages. And after that, we're going to rearrange our spells and rest. As you can hear, our party members are going to keep complaining about being tired. But anyway, in this hidden forge, we can use its magical power and our strength of will, I guess, to finally assemble the Flail of Ages. And we get some experience for that, and of course, the excellent weapon itself. And it also has a pretty cool backstory. Apparently it was kept disassembled because of the powerful magical aura that it radiates, and it was made by the Rakshasa, who could track it, sensing its magical presence, and they basically lost it on purpose many times so that it could find its way into powerful warriors whom they could then engage in glorious battles. But anyway, on to the stats. It's a +3 enchanted weapon. It deals 1 damage of 3 different elements: acid, cold, and fire. And on top of all that, it also has a 33% chance of slowing the target for 20 seconds without any saving throw allowed. So that already is excellent. Also, it deals crushing damage, the best type of damage, being a flail, of course. And then later on in the game, we can further upgrade it. So this is just an amazing weapon. But I think in the nearest upcoming encounter we are not going to use it, because Animan right now only has 1 proficiency point in flails, as opposed to 2 points in maces. And what that means is that when using a mace, he has 2 attacks per round, and when using a flail, he only has 1.5. And he's going to be hasted, and haste is going to bring up his attacks to 2 if he were to use this flail, or up to 3 if he wields a mace. That's because haste, of course, increases the amount of attacks up to the nearest full number. So I think we're going to stick with the mace +2 for now, but the Flail of Ages is going to be a very important weapon in the future. We can drop some more of this ammo into our ammo belt, and this is orc leather that we're going to identify later. Okay, and now we can finally leave outside to rest. And even when the keep is besieged by these monsters, the outside area of Diarne's Keep is always safe to rest at. And of course later on, once we are finished with the quest here, it's going to be safe. And another area like that is the Watcher's Keep outdoors area. It's also always safe to rest at. So those are perfect places to rest if you need to trigger an event of some sort that requires you to rest outdoors, or if you need to progress time while being outside of Athkatla for some messenger to spawn and stuff like that. Also in this area now we have Lady Delcia. She was escorted to safety, and also Captain Arat, who commends us for bringing that drawbridge down. But anyway, if you do not have Nalia with you, she's going to stay in the camp here. And after you complete the mission and defeat the final boss and come back here, Lady Delcia is actually going to say that we managed to stumble into victory. Captain Arat is going to congratulate us for a mission well done, and Nalia then is going to be able to, you know, complete the quest and move us on to the next part. But since we have Nalia with us, it's going to happen automatically, because of course she is involved in our party. Anyway, now it's the time to rearrange some of our spells, and I think when it comes to Senashira, I kind of was thinking about giving her one Greater Malison now that we have 3 mages, although in the upcoming fight I don't think there's going to be a great time to really unleash it, but there is a chance there's going to be a good opportunity, so I think I'm going to memorize it on Senashira, because she is the only mage that has this spell at her disposal, and we don't have any scrolls of it. We do have scrolls of Secret Word, which we are going to use during the battle. And now when it comes to level 6, we are going to use Death Fog, and I think Protection from Magical Weapons, maybe, as a standard choice. Death Fog, for a couple of reasons, we are going to pick up here. First of all, over the course of the playthrough, it's not going to be a spell that's going to be very useful for us. So this is a possibly nice opportunity to get some use out of it, because it's a cloud spell that delivers a steady 8 points of damage each round, and it also kills summoned creatures, which is not going to play a role in the upcoming encounter. But what matters here is that it delivers acid damage. That, of course, acid and fire kill trolls permanently, and I think we're going to create a certain situation for the trolls in which that Death Fog is going to be able to finish them off automatically once they drop down unconscious onto the ground. This acid damage is going to be able to finish them off without any additional actions required on our part. Now when it comes to Edwin, first off we're going to give him 2 web spells, and we also will give him a Secret Word, and the rest can stay as it is, I think. And now Nalia, I think before we get rid of her, she's going to just identify some stuff for us, and we could have some chromatic orbs on her, but it doesn't really matter. Here we're going to give her more mirror images. We're going to give her more slow. I think her flame arrow is just not going to do enough because she is only level 9. It's just not going to be damaging enough, and this is fine, I guess, considering her selection. Also, we're going to change Jaheira's spells a little bit. We're not going to need Insect Plague, but we're going to get access to more chaotic commands. And when it comes to Anomen, I think we're good. Alright, so now we can rest, and also I wanted to rest outside, because Anomen is going to have a special banter now.
When we sleep in the field, there is always the chance that we will be beset by foes, yes? I cannot help but be reminded of my father at these times.
And like I said, there isn't always a chance that we will be beset by foes, because this place and Watcher's Keep are always safe to rest. But anyway, just a little bit more backstory from Anomen's childhood and what he is dealing with. Apparently, many a time at night, he was woken up by his father destroying things in his drunken rages. But ultimately, I guess this is good for his adventuring career, I guess, because now he is a light sleeper and no creature apparently can sneak up on him. So, yeah, that's just what Anomen is dealing with. Alright, now we can return and finally approach the final encounter here.
Certainly.
It's kind of interesting that you have to go upstairs in order to go into the cellars.
Direct me as you will.
Alright, and before this fight we are going to pre-buff quite a bit, because this is a proper final fight. SCS buffs it up by a lot. So we're going to start off with some long-lasting buffs, like stone skins for all of our mages.
Yes.
And Anomen is going to give us some protection from evil. Also, Jaheira has iron skins, of course. We are also going to need Remove Fear, because TorGal himself has a Cloak of Fear active on him at all times. And we're also going to pre-buff our guys with some chaotic commands. And I think we're going to give one to Senashira, actually. one to Jaheira. Also, Edwin might give this spirit armor to Seneshira. And the last chaotic commands is going to go on to Anomen. And Kiranai, as always, is just going to rely on her saving throws, because she's going to drink a potion of invulnerability a little bit later. Now, what else can we do here? I think now we're going to do some self-buffs on Anomen. Or actually, before we do that, let's maybe summon a little fire elemental to help us. Okay, and now we can start out with some holy power. And some drop on Holy Might. Jaheira might get some Armor of Faith. Our mages are going to pre-buff with mirror images. Then we're going to Bless. We're going to Armor of Faith. And we're going to Haste. Okay, and once that is done, we are going to give Seneshira a spell immunity to Necromancy this time, because there are going to be spirit trolls, and we don't want them interrupting Seneshira with their unholy blights. Seneshira's casts are going to be very important in this fight. We can't afford any interruptions, and we're going to give her spell immunity to Abjuration, of course, so that she can have her buffs safe. I think we might also give Edwin a little minor globe. Maybe he's going to have some tricks for us up his sleeve. We'll see how the situation develops. Anyway, normally I think it's very instinctive to just stay here in this room and use the doorway as a choke point. And then on the other side you can place some cloud spells, you can throw in different spells and basically have the opponents blocked at this doorway. To create a very advantageous situation for yourself. But we're not going to do that. I'm going to fight it like a man, I guess. We're going to fight in the main chamber, together with all of our opponents. And also I forgot to set up this minor sequencer for Edwin, so our buffs are going to be 1 round shorter because of that mistake. Anyway, we are going to put 2 webs into that minor sequencer. And now we're going to wait a couple of seconds so that Edwin can cast immediately. There are some teleport sounds because SCS introduces some new opponents here in this fight that kind of teleport in. Let's try to spread out a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to have Nalia. Basically all of our mages go up to TorGal because they are going to unleash some spells immediately, and also Nalia has a unique conversation with TorGal, but I want Seneshira to be in the front a little bit, and now we can go in.
Me smell you. You stupid to come here. TorGal kill you all. Make you food for Rock Smash Pack.
We've come to get you out of my home, monster. You will leave this place, or die here.
TorGal not die here. Only stupids who stay will die. Why you here? Too stupid to take gold and go with other Girthans?
I am here because this is my home. You will pay for this affront to the dignity of this place.
You live this place? Then Torgul you die. That was deal. And you die for sure. Rock Smash Pack keep deal for stronger.
What? What deal? Someone put you up to this? Who was it? My father will have been quartered.
Father dead. That deal when he not talk. You die too, and TorGal not say anything to Girthal stupid. That deal too, and Rock Smash not break good deal. You die like should.
No. Tell me who did this. You were just the hired ruffians. Who put you up to it? Damnation, you will tell me!
Make him talk, Senashir.
TorGal not talk. Rock Smash not talk. You not talk. We fight. Then Rock Smash eat Thurgans. No talk.
So yeah, that was of course the unique conversation that Nalia can have with TorGal herself. If you approach here without Nalia, we would be able to engage in some different dialogue options, but generally it would turn out to be the same. TorGal would reveal that there is some kind of a mysterious, stronger figure that apparently the Rock Smash pack of trolls had a deal with, but he would not reveal who that is supposed to be. So that's one of these things that always remain a mystery throughout the whole game. And there are of course different theories that we can entertain and discuss about, or just, you know, think about who that might be, but there's no definitive answer to that. Anyway, I think some of the pre-buffs of these Yuan-ti mages, there's going to be 2 of them triggered already, and they actually casted protection from magical weapons, and they are pre-buffed with Globe of Invulnerability, Fire Shield Blue, some shields. They don't seem to have improved invisibility, and that also is a Globe of Invulnerability, not Minor Globe. That means Spell Thrust is not going to work on that. We're going to have to use that Secret Word spell to dispel the Globe of Invulnerability and make them vulnerable again to our spells. So anyway, what are we dealing here with? First off, we have this Umber Hulk Elder, who is just a tougher version of an Umber Hulk, and he doesn't die to a Cloud Kill. And then we have these 2 Yuan-ti mages, of course, you know, SCS Yuan-ti mages. Then we have 2 giant trolls, which are the least threatening opponents here. Then we have a spectral troll, and there's, with him around that area, there are 3 or 4 spirit trolls, starting out invisible. And there's, of course, TorGal himself, which he is the most dangerous in that kind of a straightforward sense, that he is just a very strong fighter-type enemy. He has 20 strength, he has quite a few attacks per round, I think 3. He has, you know, high hit points, he has that troll regeneration, he also has 30 resistance to all types of damage, both physical and elemental, except fire and acid, also 30 magic resistance. Yeah, generally just a tough guy to deal with, to bring down, and he can dish out some damage. Also, SCS gives him healing potions, so he's going to be using those, and he has that Cloak of Fear active, and he also can activate Barbarian Rage, which, you know, trolls are already immune to a lot of effects, so it's most use of that for him is to boost his fighting stats even further. And yeah, that's the opposition. So what we're going to do now, Edwin is going to unleash his spell sequencer and throw in 2 webs in there. So they're going to have to save against that twice every round. And basically all of these opponents, except the mages of course because of their Globe of Invulnerability, are actually susceptible to web, even TorGal himself.
What is it?
But now Senashira is going to unleash a Cloud Kill, kind of like in the center area but more to the left. And Nalia is going to unleash another Cloud Kill in the center area but more to the right. So basically we want to create a kind of a situation in which most of these trolls and just opponents in general are going to be hopefully captured in those webs and damaged by and interrupted by Cloud Kills, because Cloud Kills we're throwing in there to, you know, make the Yuan-ti mages lives a little bit tougher. And then we're also going to have Animen cast this Holy Smite around here, so that when these spirit trolls and trolls in general approach us, they can receive some damage from that Holy Smite, maybe get blinded. And Kiranai is going to unleash a little silence also in this area, so that perhaps we can get a couple of these spirit trolls silenced. And Jaheira is going to wait for now, and the elemental is going to wait. So let's see how that plays out. Alright, we have unleashed our spells. Yeah, TorGal activates Barbarian Rage, and okay, Confusion on Senashira from the Umber Hulk Elder, which we are of course protected against through chaotic commands. And now we can go back a little bit. Alright, so a lot of these trolls actually got captured, and I'm not sure if TorGal got captured, we'll see about that in a second. But anyway, a lot of our opponents... Okay, TorGal actually didn't, which is a little bit of a shame. Okay, now let's kind of spread out a little bit. I think a lot of... okay, TorGal got blinded actually, which is very good. And I think a lot of trolls got silenced, which is very nice. Also, the Yuan-ti mages were not interrupted because they already cast their protection from magical weapons. But generally these cloud kills, that they can't really go anywhere out of them because they are going to be unlikely, I think, to approach our party directly. So they have to kind of hang out in that area. They have a chance, these cloud kills, to interrupt them, of course. Now, Senashira is also going to throw in that death fog in the middle there to add another cloud for some interruptions and to, of course, finish off the trolls that might fall down in that area. Edwin is going to use his secret word on this Yuan-ti mage that's not in our vision. He's somewhere in there, but I can't really see him with my mouse. This is the bottom one, and there's one above him. But anyway, the first round is still going, so it doesn't really matter all that much. He might have... He is in our vision. I think he might have improved invisibility that I didn't see. I don't think they are supposed to have improved invisibility. So anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to have... Oh, Nalia got confused. How did that happen? This Umber Hulk Elder apparently can spam confusions quite well, which is really, really unfortunate because I wanted to have Nalia cast a secret word from a scroll, but that changes plans. Anyway, let's just use secret word to dispel the globe of invulnerability of this Yuan-ti mage that is in our vision, at least. Now, TorGal, there's not much points to really engage him because he will regen this health anyway if we start fighting him. Anyway, Anomen is going to be ready to unleash another Holy Smite once these globes of invulnerability are down. Let's just... actually, what we could do is get rid of that Umber Hulk Elder. Oh, and I actually forgot to buff up Kirinai with that potion of invulnerability. Fortunately, that's rectified now, and we can actually use some range damage onto that Umber Hulk Elder then. Alright, so we were able to throw in that death fog. However, Senashira's protections were dispelled by this Yuan-ti mage's spell thrust, and so her spell immunities were dispelled. But his globe of invulnerability was dispelled as well, and we don't have that third mage, unfortunately, to throw in the secret word to the other guy, which is really unfortunate. Anyway, let's throw in that Holy Smite now. Nalia, of course, is shooting someone, but it doesn't really matter. How's that Umber Hulk Elder doing? He's badly injured. Alright, the Umber Hulk Elder is dealt with. Now, I think the protection from magical weapons on these guys are still active. So, anyway, we're going to give this a secret word to Edwin then, so that he can cast it onto that other Yuan-ti mage. And Senashira doesn't really need to reapply anything just yet, I think. But we might throw in a little Greater Malison in there, and to increase the likelihood of everyone just getting affected by our spells. And I would like to get that Greater Malison on TorGal, because he is susceptible to a couple of effects. Like, he can be blinded, he can be slowed. So that's going to be pretty cool. And I think, of course, we don't have Remove Fear on our fire elemental, and he got feared by the Cloak of Fear from TorGal. Right, so some of them have been affected, and this Yuan-ti mage is near death from all of the spells. And that's pretty cool. If you have the opportunity, you might be able to cast this Remove Fear to get this fire elemental under our control again. Anyway, this guy also had his globe of invulnerability removed now. So what I'm going to do is I think use this wand of the heavens to interrupt him, because they have fire shields blue, which protect them from cold damage. And I think I'm going to transfer this necklace of missiles to follow the tradition from our Baldur's Gate 1, and Kira and I using the necklace of missiles to deliver some fire damage onto these guys, and interrupting them, or increasing our likelihood of interrupting them even further. Alright, some spirit trolls died, and I think that Yuan-ti mage died now. One of them, so that's very good. Also, let's test out if... okay, this protection from magical weapons is still active on them. Okay, the fire elemental is under our control now again. Now, I think Edwin is going to renew his mirror images, because he's attacked by TorGal, I think. He's doing pretty well tanking him. Okay, the fire elemental, okay, is actually attacking a spirit troll. Oh yeah, Edwin can't move because his strength was drained quite a bit, and we have to actually pay attention so that his strength is not drained to 0 and he doesn't die out of it. Okay, if we can, let's use a... actually, let's use a fire arrow on that Yuan-ti mage. Just keep throwing daggers onto him. So the moment he loses his protection from magical weapons, he can be affected by Kirinai's range damage. And with melee attackers I will not approach. I could throw in some normal bullets, I guess, from Jaheira. And I guess Animan can go in and help out that fire elemental in his battle against the spirit troll. Right, Edwin was breached. So he still has his mirror images, but no more stone skin for him. He's also slowed. Anyway, we really need to deal with this Yuan-ti mage. Everything else is pretty much dealt with or irrelevant, like this giant troll over there. And then we're going to be free to deal with TorGal himself. Let's actually move this fire elemental to occupy his attention. And unfortunately Senashira doesn't have any... well, actually, now that he is vulnerable to low-level spells, we can use some Aganazor's Scorcher on him. Oh, and it's actually the spirit troll who's casting also. Oh, the Yuan-ti mages have like 20% magic resistance, so this guy got really lucky now, resisting our spell like that. And something went off. Okay, he renewed his stone skin, and that was just a Cloak of Fear effect. Okay, that affected no one because we're all protected. Okay, TorGal wants Edwin. Well, let's just deal with this spirit troll in the meantime. Of course, we are great at damaging ourselves with these Aganazar Scorchers, so that's tradition. Okay, the spirit troll, of course, is being annoying, just going invisible all the time. Okay, now we really need to save Edwin. So to that effect, we're going to give him a potion of invisibility. And there's a little problem though, because he just cast his flame arrow at the Yuan-ti mage. And was that resisted as well? If that was the case, I think this magic resistance message, I think, is from, yeah, for Edwin's flame arrow, which is really, really lucky on that guy's part. That's really unfortunate for us. Okay, Edwin, keep running. Perhaps TorGal is going to be incentivized to attack someone else. Nalia is still not under our control, and there's chaos going on to Kirinai. Let's move her out. Nalia actually saved against that. Okay, Edwin should be safe over there. Now we are dealing damage with that Aganazar Scorcher onto the Yuan-ti mage, and I think now for sure his protection from magical weapons has expired. And yeah, of course that's the case, because he was renewing his stone skins. So of course we cut through his stone skins. I think Kirinai with her daggers cut through that. And here I'm just going to go to just finally get rid of this Yuan-ti mage, even though that means that we received some cold damage. But anyway, now we have to get rid of that spirit troll and then be finally free to deal with TorGal at our leisure. So I think we can have Edwin sneak in a little slow in there. Alright, he's done. Everyone's doing rather fine, but let's keep Anomen safe. Oh, of course, I forgot to pre-buff Anomen with his potion of dexterity. That's why TorGal or some guys targeted him, knowing that his armor class is not that great. Actually, Jaheira might throw in a little defensive harmony in there. Our haste ran out, unfortunately. You have slow. And I'm not sure if TorGal was slowed. I'm kind of too lazy to... And I don't want to waste more time to check if he was affected by slow. Alright, now he is slowed. And I guess Edwin can throw in a little glitter dust in there. And even though we are not hasted anymore, we should be able to, yeah, deal with him, no problem now. He actually needs to be killed with some serious damage there. Oh, actually, now, yeah. Try out your fire arrows. This should work. We can even give her some acid arrows.
Speak without hesitation.
Oh, he's up. Actually, not sure why he didn't die there. He was supposed to die, no problem, I think, to that. I'm not sure why he survived all this acid and fire damage there.
This will not take long.
TorGal, don't do this to me. Oh my god.
As soon as possible.
Actually, this calls for an invisibility.
What is it?
Okay, cool.
It will be done.
Actually, as you can see, there's a lot of items on the ground, because even though we are protected against fear with our remove fear spell, the cloak of fear property of making people drop their items is still at work here. So actually, Anomen dropped his armor, which makes his armor class be not too great. So let's renew Armor of Faith on him.
With vengeance.
And fine, I just stop pestering me.
Fall down, dude.
Yes. Almost. I await your move. I thought.
Point the sword, and I shall strike.
Oh, 13 strength. He's completely encumbered. Can't even move.
I will require healing. As you would. What is it, sir?
Okay, Jaheira needs to go in there.
The light shall prevail.
Be direct me as you will. I am.
Have you?
Oh, all right.
Yes. It will be done.
I stand amongst the right. Very well.
Speak your mind.
Should be down on the ground. He's immune to all damage, it seems.
You require nothing more.
Yes, master.
What can you offer us, Edwin?
Now? Yes, I see.
Maybe you can offer us a little again as our Scorcher. And of course he lucks out with his 30% magic resistance there. He's only injured again.
What is it? Certainly. Yes! Just is that all? I'd hope yes! With vengeance!
Okay, near death. Down. Oh my god, finally. I think something bugged out the first time he was down. I've actually not had that happen for a long time. With TorGal being that picky and choosy when he decides to die. I've actually had no problems in many playthroughs with him just dying, but here he had like 3 lives, man. He was like immune to all damage, but standing up, he actually didn't fall to the ground as intended. Jeez, that was just horrible, but whew. Finally he is down.
Die, you beast! I will clear this place of any taint you left behind. I will.
Oh, poor Nalia. The way she says that. Let's get out of here. I don't want to see my home in this state. We have done what we can. I must think. I will speak more when we have left this place.
Yes?
Alright, so that was a really nasty fight. Way nastier than what it usually is. And now let's just see what we dropped. Yeah, full plate from Anomen. And a couple of different things. I know Anomen is going to be encumbered, but now let's first just give everyone what they... oh yeah, he has inadequate strength to actually equip that. Let's just rearrange the equipment of how it was before. Okay, that can be on the ground. Here, unfortunately, like TorGal mentioned, Nalia's father is dead. But there is a little treasure trove here that we can loot with jewelry, some money, and a scroll.
Yes?
Alright, and I think I'm going to end the episode here. Take a breather after this fight, and I think I'm just going to wait out these strength debuffs so that we can move again, and we can move outside without having to like rest here again, and continue our adventure, or actually see the conclusion of this adventure here, because this is not the end. There is going to be a cool follow-up since we are a Kensai here, but anyway, all of that and more is going to come in the next episode. So I thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.